Saha Viryam Karamavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, so we saw that ahankara, which is your I sense, each one has a different sense of I, and that sense of I resides in different bodies, and what accounts for that is karma, right? So it's not just random, it is something which has past causes, and in addition to some past causes that we already understand, right, like genetics or biological causes, we add one more element and we say there is also your karma, the actions of the past. So this way you understand that every I sense is different. Now why this as though body comes and this I sense comes and we experience all the world differently, when all that is here is what? One limitless awareness. We experience the world differently because we don't understand that all that is here is one limitless awareness. Until the time that you discover this fact, you will keep on coming back because your I sense is the reality for you. Then everything related to the body, everything related to the senses, everything related to the mind, it all gets centralized in one entity called ahankara, and you operate with understanding that I am ahankara. There is no distinction between ahankara and I in your vision. I is ahankara. The ultimate reality about I is ahankara. If in one lifetime you begin to question, am I really this limited entity, then you begin to, if you are given an opportunity to listen to the teaching, you begin to understand that my I sense is in a wrong place. I mean, the I sense is there, but the truth of I is much more than the I sense. The logic which is used is, I love when Tistan was explaining his mathematics, I loved when he said that you need to, if you need to understand something, you start from here and you start with facts and then you build, and at every point you have to build, and you have to always stay with the facts, and they're watertight. There is no this or that or this or that. This is how you follow each step, follow the logic, and you then come to the understanding of things. And Vedanta uses exactly the same methodology. Starts with facts. There is no imagination there. The body is atoms. Where is imagination? Where is the problem? What is the problem? Tell me. Can anybody contend it? And atoms are small. Atoms are not limitless. The mind is a changing mind. Show me that it is not true. The thoughts are changing. And if you are as good as the thoughts, there is no way you can know coming and going of the thoughts. Because when the thought comes, you come, and when the thought goes, you go. Where is the argument? But you have to follow the logic. You can't operate from your own created world. And your ideas and your build-up. What keeps you away from reality is your vision of the world, which is which is made from the data that you have gathered, which are highly partial. Because the eyes provide the data, and the vision of the eyes itself is limited. So therefore, this is something that you have to understand. Once you understand that, then you understand that, I am somebody who's distinct from the thoughts, and I am distinct from the body. What else do you need to feel to understand this? What is a special experience you need to understand this? It's crystal clear. And your mind has to learn to stay with realities. Once that is established, we establish the fact, what is removing ignorance? The world is mithya. There is no doubt. This box, which seems like reality to me, is nothing but what? Wood. Where is the doubt? And that wood again depends upon something else, and something else, and something else. And the entire world becomes a concept. There is no tangible object anymore. Truth. Do you need to experience this box differently to understand its mithya? Is it a matter of my feeling? That, I feel this is so real. Your feelings don't establish reality. Your thoughts have to reach reality. So therefore, this then, if everything is a concept and what remains is you, the awareness, what is the relationship between concept and it's mathematics. And at each point, any logic if you have to contradict what is being said, you have to use that logic and see if you can contradict what is being said. That's the whole methodology. So this is where the whole discipline of Vedanta is actually not to add your own stories. The minute you start adding your own story, you distort the reality. And you don't stay with facts. So therefore, and that's for an important method in Vedanta is what? Following the logic at each step and seeing the implication of the logics which are used, which are very profound logics. So help yourself to that. Once that person follows the logic and what understands totally what is the nature of Atma, then what? There is freedom. There is a complete freedom. Why? Not because you have produced or you have made Atma free, but Atma is already free. It is already limitless. This is what we call praptasya prapti. What is praptasya prapti? In everything in this world, there are the gains are of two types: apraptasya prapti and praptasya prapti. What is apraptasya prapti? Something which is not yet there, you have to get it. So that means, imagine you feel like eating pasta. So just by the thought of pasta is not going to come. So and you can read recipes and you can keep on reading recipes in the newspaper, but that is not going to bring pasta. So what you have to do, you have to go to the market, buy pasta, follow the recipe, and then what? Put it all together, and then what? There comes the pasta dish. So that means here it is what we call apraptasya prapti. Apraptasya prapti means pasta which was not already ready. Through your effort, what did you do? You made pasta. So this is what every time you have to gain something which is not already there, you need actions. Without actions you can't gain which is not something which is not already there. Actions are the means. You need to do something to gain it. In case there is praptasya prapti. What is praptasya prapti? If it is already there, and what keeps you from owning up to it is you're not knowing it, what do you need to do?
Understand that it is there.
Exactly. Wonderful. The only thing that you have to do is understand that it is there. There is nothing else which needs to be done. Right? Because if it was not there, you have to do something to get it. But if it is already there, and if you don't know that it is there, the only thing is knowledge. You must understand this. Actions have no role because it's already there. So, our teacher used to give an example that imagine on a Sunday you're reading the newspaper and a neighbor comes, and the neighbor comes and you keep your glasses here, and then you start chatting with the neighbor, and when the neighbor is gone, you want to reread the newspaper. And you're looking now for your glasses, and you're looking here and you're looking there and you're not finding it, and then you're frustrated, then you go there like that day that we went all over. Went to the castle and went all over, and the lights and flashlights, there was such a drama there. Right? So you keep looking here and there, and then you don't find it. So then you tell what is your spouse, and you said, have you seen my glasses? The minute the spouse sees you, starts laughing. Because for the spouse, it's very clear where the glasses are. And the more the spouse laughs, you get more angry. I have lost my glasses and you're laughing? And then the spouse, if they're clever, they'll say, yeah, now what will you give me if I find the glasses? And then get a good bargain, good dinner, good whatever, right? So then she will say that, yeah, you already have it. while you were searching for it all over, did you not already have it? You already had it. But what kept you from having it? Knowledge. So that means after,
Chitta.
yeah, after you know, what do you need to do to get glasses? It's already there. The knowledge itself, what produces the glasses, you don't need to do anything in addition. The difference between praptasya prapti and apraptasya prapti is something that you must understand. In things that you don't have right now and you want to get it, you need action. But if the thing is already there, you don't need action. You only need to remove your ignorance. It's not only with reference to the big reality, it is with reference to everything. This is what we call logic. What applies to the glass also applies to any other thing. Like how he was showing that A could be any number. The relationship remains the same. B could be any number.
But isn't there a slight difference? So, I mean, if someone then tells me, okay, the glasses are on your head,
Yeah.
then I basically touch it and then I confirm it for myself that I have it.
So the thing is, but you don't need to do anything to produce the glass.
No,
it's already
no,
there.
that's already there.
Yeah, it's already
But
there.
it's when basically when I touch it, it's more like
So-
a confirmation that now I really
Yeah,
get
because here the glass is an object. Here
But he
it is the
doesn't
subject.
believe the spouse, so he has to
No, obviously, but the point here is, see, every example, as I told you, is never going to be exactly corresponding to the example. What you need to understand is what it is trying to say. Because here also it's an object, so you need to touch it and all, right? But you see the point that in
Yeah, I
one
see.
case it is knowledge, in the other case it is action.
But the knowledge really makes really sense. A really quiet mind is needed, or like a prepared mind.
Yeah.
The mind preparation then is part of this first issue, that you actually have to do
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
many people
Yes.
say, oh, there's nothing
Absolutely.
to do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So the mind preparation is something which you don't have right now.
Yeah.
So in that case, you apply the logic.
Yeah.
Mind, if the mind is projecting mind, that means it is not able to stay with realities, then you need to what? Work. Action is needed to what?
to see.
To make your mind what? Capable of seeing the reality. Their action is needed. But in knowing I, if I is limitless and if it is already limitless, then what? You don't need to do anything. You don't have to do anything to make it limitless.
Yeah.
If I is limitless, then it has to be already limitless. Because
Excellent.
otherwise it would be in time and then it would be...
Excellent. What Anu is saying is absolutely right. If I is limitless, it already has to be limitless. Because if it is not limitless, no action is going to make it limitless. Why? Because action is limited. Action is in time and space. The result is in time and space of that action. It is always going to be limited. You have to understand this logic. No action can produce limitlessness because action is undertaken in time and space. When it is undertaken in time and space and by a person who himself or herself is limited, the action is going to be limited. And limited action will produce limited result. So therefore, if Your I is limited. You can't do anything to remove the limitation. Understand that. No action of yours will be adequate to make it free from limitation. But if I is already free from limitation and you have somehow convinced yourself that I am limited to this little entity, then the only thing that can help you is what? Removing the ignorance. We are not producing anything new. We are only seeing what is. So therefore, the why the body comes is because the ignorance is intact. This is why everybody is born with what? I am as good as this entity. Universal. Even though Yuta was saying by the time the child is 2 doesn't have that division, but the brain will develop to have that division. It's not that the child is wise and then ignorance came. So therefore, this ignorance is something that we are born and it is anadi. So, the only way to get rid of this as though confinement is to know Atma is free. And this person who has used one's faculties and efforts to prepare the mind to know the reality, understands the reality accurately. So therefore, and once the person understands the realities accurately, the person is free to do anything. Because doing doesn't make you what? Limited. Wonderful. But you do it with what? A sense of fullness. You don't do it as with what? The dependence that if I get this, only then I will be happy. That whole orientation undergoes a very major change. So this is called the wise person. Doing things out of freedom and not doing things out of what? Dependency.
Can you say something more about this, how a child is developing, or how this going, or because for example, Christ said, become a child, only the child will go to the door of heaven, and this thing, no? And
See, when you use
yeah, you know what I mean. In my perspective, it looks like the child. You said it's not a wise man, but children are very truthful. Are very they vertrauen. They have trust. Yeah, and all these qualities we are looking for. Yeah, and then the society say all these limitations that this is my construction, yeah, and then comes the influence so much that, or I felt by my own, no, that in the age of 4, 5, 6, something changed very, very fundamental. So I believed the things my parents said, and before I didn't. And it was clear I was safe. God is with me, or like this.
See, the child is born, and the child, in some ways what you are saying is right? That the child, because the child is so helpless, the child cannot talk, the child cannot eat by oneself, the child cannot even do all the kind of, cleansing yourself, or for you are born where you can't do a thing on your own. You can't get your own food. So therefore, there is an inbuilt mechanism in the in that brain, and still it has to survive. You are not capable of doing anything and you still have to survive. How?
Depend on parents.
Exactly. There is a dependence on your parents. There is a total dependence. You don't even have the capacity to tell your mom, hey mom, I'm hungry. What you do? Just but you don't even have the capacity to verbalize. So that means, along with that, dependence, in order for you to survive, comes also the trust. There is somehow the parents who are looking after you, there is an inbuilt trust that my parents will look after me. Somebody is there. Even if your child is not actively thinking, this is what I'm saying. There is some kind of an inbuilt trust that the child has that somehow the universe will take care of me. So that is the psyche of a child. In order to survive, it also has been given the implicit trust. Now, what happens is, over a period of time, your brain begins to be developed. You begin to have language which you did not have. You find ways to express yourself which you did not have. So that means the brain is developing. And while the brain is developing, it is also developing the sense of I. Because the child is not confused when it sees you running. It also wants to emulate that. And when it wants to emulate that, then what? They will try to get up. It's not that they don't have the sense of separation. That is very much needed for you to develop this body. When you see somebody else, then you will struggle to get up first. Then you see somebody running, then you will try to run. You will fall. But because you see somebody running, then you have a trust that I can also do it. So much learning takes place, and it is very much essential for the child to develop itself by having that sense of I. Nobody is even a little monkey will have a sense of I. It's not something which is you're born. It's a matter of developing. But as she says, that to this I sense, which is sahajam, which is going to be there, because if I'm unable to, as Anna was saying yesterday, if I didn't have I sense, don't think of it as bad. Because then I would feed her and think that my body is getting fed. If I don't have I sense is not bad. I sense is essential for you to survive. The only thing you have to understand it is mithya. Don't try to eliminate your I sense. You can't do anything without your I sense. It's part of the program, and that program is necessary for you to accomplish things. I want to be an artist. You are not confused between that person and this person. If you did not have I sense, you will have confusion. So this is why the I sense of a wise person is highly evolved I sense, The child is innocent in the process of development, and therefore there is not much kind of a discrimination, and just lives in the world, spontaneously. In some ways, what you are saying is right, that over a period of time, because of the conditioning, we load that I sense, which is a natural capacity, with a lot of other information which is unhealthy. I am a victim, world is unfair, I need to change the world because the people are so bad. All these are our conclusions. Some of it may be true, some of it is our projection. Because the world is far more nuanced than our opinions. So therefore, as an adult, you have the capacity to undo a lot of these added stories that we have added, and to free your I sense from all these loads. In that sense, you can become like a child, but you are not like a child. Please understand, because a child doesn't have the well-developed mind which can analyze things, which can understand things, which can make sense of things. It is in the process of development. The only thing which is similar is that the added complexes are not there. Otherwise, we are making very simplistic statements. What is similar and what is not similar, you have to understand. That's what makes you in keeping with realities. What you give up are the added stories, but the child's mind is in the process of development. A wise person's mind is highly developed. What is common for both is there are no added complexes. One is because of lack of development, the other one is because of really development. That's when you grow up to be an adult. So the whole life is about developing the mind, and not to keep it as a simple mind of a child. Simple mind of a child means you are struggling to express yourself. You are still learning 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. That also is a big job. You are still struggling with languages. You don't want a mind like that. You want mind which is clear, which is able to think about things. This is why we all wait till 18 to give you cars. It's all understood by the society that if at the age of 10, if you start driving, there will be many more accidents.
So, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, how important is it to also develop the body parts, so like the senses and so on?
Wonderful. Everything has to develop, right? Because as a child, you're born of this size. And then it has to grow. It can't stay there. Right? So the body parts will develop whether you want it or not. Right? If you just fed enough, the body, by the time the teenagers, you have seen your daughters, right? From little kids, all of a sudden in 1 or 2 years, they look like adults. And you are giving the same food, and you are just doing the same thing. It's part of that whole universe program. that there is, and then what they start having this metamorphosis. Body means it is programmed. What there are 6 stages of the body. Jayate, it's born. Asti, after having born, it survives. Vardhate, it grows. Then Parinamate. Parinamate is it undergoes metamorphosis, huge changes, reproductive age, beard for guys, all major changes. It's like that. Then apakshiyate. Apakshiyate means by the time your 40s or 45 starts little decline. And then vinashyati is gone. You can intervene a little bit to make your decline little slower by eating either healthy food or doing all kinds of surgeries. You have choice how you want to. Yeah, you can do it so many different ways. But these 6 stages you can't intervene. It will undergo metamorphosis. Unless it is a stunted body, then that is another law altogether. And it will begin to decline. No matter how many surgeries you have, at some point your age will start showing. So therefore, the body has to go through that. The child has to go through what? Not only the mind has to develop, the body has to develop. Your senses have to develop. When you are born, it's true that you are not able to see the images very clearly. Only at a certain age you begin to see the images clearly. This is why if the very small child, if you see, they are not able to focus. They are not able to, because the images are not as clear. The body, the senses, the mind, they all go through these stages. Even the most brilliant mind, when you start getting older, there is some decline. It was interesting, even Swamiji, a person of wisdom, you could see how everything was like right there for him, all the quotes and everything. Then he was struggling in the end. The nature of mind, that doesn't decide whether the person is wise or not. The mind has its own curves. You have to understand what choice do you have. These are realities, you have to accept realities. You can't fight realities. You can't create your own ideas of realities. What is, is. Mind has a curve. The old age means memory loss will be there somewhat. Mind won't be as... You can do things to keep it active. Sure, you can. But you can't fight the nature. You have to be going along with the laws of the nature if you want to help yourself. Because as Sahaja was saying, laws are much bigger than you, and you have to understand that. So therefore, we don't want to be like children. Children are brilliant, they are innocent, true. But we want that innocence out of understanding things which are much better than the developing brain of the child is able to understand. So, this is something that we saw last time. Now, the whole question is, how did this universe come about? So that is a discussion, and I think who was saying we have to follow the rules of the game? I think it was Utah who was saying. So, and what are the rules of the game, and are there any rules of the game? So this is where the whole discussion comes, and that is in the next verse we will see. It says, Shakti dvayam hi mayaya vikshepa avruti rupakam vikshepa shakti hi lingadi brahmandantam jagat sujit. Right. So therefore, what accounts for this manifestation? As we have seen, the awareness has no attributes. The awareness is something which is what? All pervasive. Then how did the whole Jagat, which includes what? Time, space and objects of the universe, how did they come into being? So here it is said, Shakti dvayam hi mayaya. So that means there is, what is Maya? Now you have to understand. Maya is defined as what? The capacity, Shakti. Shakti is the capacity. Twofold capacity. Shakti dvayam. Twofold capacity. What are these twofold capacities? Vikshepa and avruti. Vikshepa is what? Capacity to project, and the other one is avruti. Avruti is what? Within that projection you are what? Certain information is what? Blocked. Yes? So that is what is said, Maya, Vikshepa Shakti. From that Vikshepa Shakti comes the entire Brahmanda. Brahmanda means the entire universe. Brahmandantam Jagat Srujet. The entire Jagat is from the Vikshepa Shakti. Vikshepa Shakti is capacity to manifest of Maya. Where does Maya rest? What is Maya? Whose Shakti? When I say it is Shakti, you will ask, whose Shakti is it? The Shakti, the capacity has to rest on what? Excellent. The awareness has the capacity to manifest. Manifest as what? The entire Brahmanda. Brahmanda is what? The time, space and object universe. What is the relationship between awareness and Maya?
It's also a mithya relationship.
Exactly. It's a mithya relationship because in order for the power to be, what? It cannot be without the entity. The entity is free from that power. Very easy to understand. You, if you are a female, you have potential, if you are in that age between what, 13 to what, 45 or 50, you have a potential to be a mother. When, in order to have that potential, you have to be there without you being there, where will the potential rest? But are you only the potential? You are what? It is one of the incidental qualities. You are much more than the potential. So therefore, Satya Mithya relationship. The potential cannot exist without the entity, but the entity is much more than what? The potential. Independent of the potential. So this is what we call, this awareness has the capacity to what? Project the whole universe. Project means manifest the whole universe. That capacity cannot exist without awareness, but awareness is independent of that capacity. When the universe is manifested, does it just manifest the universe randomly? No. There are rules of the game. Rules of the game means everything is designed with incredible accuracy. A human body is programmed with incredible precision. You can go to medical school and try to figure out the body. The first year of medical school, there is a course where you study what? Human anatomy. Anatomy means just what are the parts in human body. And you ask many doctors, they will say this is one of the most difficult courses. Even to fathom different parts of the body and to remember all the names. And after studying for 5 intense years of studies, then you say it's not enough, I need to specialize. Because that study has just given me general knowledge. Now I want to do a specialization. And I want to become what? An ophthalmologist. I want to study more in detail the eyes. Then you dedicate how many years? 2-3 years to study just the eye. But even that eye, you feel it's not enough, so you further specialize and you say, I'm a retinologist. I'm going to study only the retina. And even when you study, now you have what? From the whole body to what? The eyes, then to retina. And will you finish after 2 years? There is constant research going on where you can know more and more and more about these eyes. There is no end. There is no end with reference to our knowledge, the individual's knowledge. But in the design of things, it has already come with what? The eye is already made. The organ with all its intricacies is already made. Neither you have created it, nor I have created it. We come in the universe. Where we come with the body which is not created by us. Every organ of the body, it's so intricately put together. Right? If the kidney has to do filtering job, it has to do what? Filtering job. It's not like today I would feel like doing something else, let's explore something else. liver, your respiratory system, your lungs. The connection that each organ has with other organs. Highly complex. The connection that the organs have with the brain. There are different centers. There is one center where you will recognize pain. If that is numbed, then you can be bleeding and you will have no sensation. The work of any given one organism is highly complex. But it's interesting that within one species, we all have similar program. A human eye means the eye range is defined. But within that range, each individual is unique. Nobody is out of the range, but there is no human being which has exactly the same eye. Infinite variations within a given range. Infinite variations within human kidney, liver, lungs, spine. One range, infinite variations. There is no repetition. And the world is billions of years old. No repetition. If you really open your mind to this, what I'm saying, you cannot but be in awe. This awareness, this Maya, which is manifesting the universe, it's not manifesting some simplistic universe. Highly complex universe where not only the human variety is all infinite differences within one range, then you have a bird's eye which is programmed differently. You have eagle which can, the eyes of eagle are very different from human eyes. From right on top, it can see that little prey, and it can just come soaring from the soaring height to down there to pick up the prey. Different eye program, but within that again infinite variations. No eagle has exactly the same eye. Then if you're a dog, then sniffing dogs, they say. That means your nose is operating differently. This is why in crime they use, even in at the airport they use dogs. Why do they think they use dogs? They can smell drugs. So that means, did you create that? What is your participation? Tell me.
To find that they have these qualities.
Wonderful. You only can explore what is already there. The whole universe is given to you. Including your own body and your own mind is given to you. You don't own it. What participation did you have to put your organs together? How much did you contribute towards? If you were to participate in creating your body, you would have certainly done something differently. You would have had more height, I want to be slimmer, I want to be blonde.
It's only what my mind says, but it's not me. I created my body.
I don't know. That maybe is your opinion. Who are you and which body did you create? So that if you were to, then I'll say, okay, now change it little bit. If you feel that you have created the body, okay, place the eyes little differently.
No, well, this is my mind talking, but the awareness.
Yeah, exactly. So if you put your eye in its right place, then yes, awareness has the capacity. Awareness has the capacity to project, but not you as an individual. This is exactly what is being said. Maya rests on awareness.
So with objects are mithya because they're dependent on awareness, but also they're changing. With Maya is an internal capacity within awareness, but it's beginningless and it's always there. So that's a slight difference.
That's the difference. Wonderful.
Can you repeat, please?
True. It is, I will just change slightly what you said.
Yeah.
Slightly. The Maya is not the intrinsic capacity of Brahman, awareness, it is the incidental capacity. But other than this, whatever you said is right.
But the other thing is, isn't it so, I mean, we could never verify this with our experience, but isn't it so that Maya actually, it said in the Shastra that it becomes dormant, like,
We will
goes
see
back
it.
into seed form until it unmanifests. So in that way it is, although it's beginningless,
It's not always manifest.
Yeah.
Yes. So that we will see. That's
Not
a
that, not
truth.
that we could ever verify that.
We can. I will show you how.
Okay.
Yeah.
Repeat what you said.
So saying with objects in the world, they're mithya because they're changing and they have a dependent relationship to awareness. Whereas with Maya is an incidental factor within awareness, but it's eternal in the sense that it's always there, either manifest of the world or resolved into itself. But it's always there.
Yes, correct. So that means the capacity for this awareness to manifest is something, and also as Anu said, unmanifest is always there. It becomes manifest as the universe. So, universe means time, space and objects within the universe. When it manifests time, space and object in the universe, it is not random manifestation, it is highly intelligent. So therefore, in this Maya, the manifestation is what? That capacity to manifest. When the universe becomes manifest, you see two things, Sarvajnatvam and Sarvashaktimatvam. The knowledge or the intelligence and what? The power to manifest. So that knowledge and power, when there is, the world has already become manifest, it gets a new name. A name to understand that particular phenomena. And that is called Ishvara. Awareness is the reality. It has the power to manifest Maya Shakti. When it becomes manifest as time, space and different names and forms, it is called what? Ishvara, the cause of the universe, which has what? The knowledge and power to manifest the universe. the knowledge is not just simple knowledge, it is what we call all knowledge. I just showed you the complexity of what? Each form that has come into manifestation. It is unfathomable. Within that given form, there is incredible complexity, but that form also is related to other forms. It's not living in isolation. You and me are connected, whether we meet in our lifetime or not. Because we all draw from what? The sun. We both rely on sun energy for our bodies to survive. We both need plant kingdom. We both need waters. The whole condition of the human survival. Then if the human body survives on certain things, it requires, my friend was studying nutrition, and in nutrition they go into detail about what are the different things that your body needs to survive. Starting from simple things like amino acids and proteins and all the vitamins and minerals, and it's endless list. And this endless list that you depend upon, if it was not there in the external world, how will your body survive? So that means there is not only the forms and so many different forms, each of these forms are connected through what all they need to survive. And all the things that they need to survive are also given. The earth and its position, that it keeps what it is constantly moving, but while it is moving, the distance it has from the sun is remaining constant. Imagine you try to move two things and keep the distance constant. So that means that the arrangement in this universe is just incredible. The knowledge within knowledge within knowledge within knowledge. And a human mind, even though it is a highly complex mind and it can solve many things, just few days ago in Times of India I read that we have discovered only what part of the universe? 10% of the universe. So many things are still totally unknown to us as individuals. So therefore, there is this intelligence. There is an undeniable intelligence which is governing the universe. Anything, any given object that you see. If I ask you, how did these atoms become tree? But if you make another permutation and combination, it will become a rock. Then with another permutation and combination, it will become a human body. With another permutation and combination, it will become the sun. All these infinite forms that are created, they are nothing but what? Manifestation of that knowledge. the forms themselves, if you really look into the nature of the forms, you'll find nothing but knowledge. Eyes, knowledge. Human brain. Study human brain, neurosciences, all knowledge. Human being is only trying to have insight into this knowledge. The whole system, everything is nothing but manifestation of knowledge. At every level of assemblage, right? Particles gather, they become atoms. Atoms gather, they become molecules. At every level of assemblage, there is what? A value added. It gains other qualities which the previous thing did not have. This is how you create systems. So this all knowledge and all power is called Ishvara. One of the ways to understand the presence of this knowledge is to, as we had shown in the slide earlier, that in Indra's net, the whole universe is like Indra's net. There are jewels and then there are strands that connect the jewels. So the jewels can stand for so many different things. It can stand for human beings, it can stand for living beings, it can stand for what each planet, it can stand for what galaxies that are there in the universe. At every level there is connection. So there is horizontal connection and there is a vertical connection. And that is what we say is knowledge and power. At every level of assemblage, there is what? The next form appearing. Then that form joins with others, there is another form appearing. Then that form joins with others, there is another form appearing. And then there is interdependence between all the different forms. The laws, the strands which connect the forms are what? The physical laws. Physical laws include what? Gravity. There are so many other physical laws. Then there is what? Biological laws. What is a biological law? Which governs what? The entire plant. If you study botany within biology, the entire plant kingdom. One plant sitting here, you think the plant is not doing anything, is actually drawing energy from the sun, and through the system of photosynthesis is creating food for you. All the different nutrients that you need. So if you want to increase iron in your body, you will eat spinach. If you want vitamin C, you will have lemon or whatever, orange. Each one is using the energy of the sun but producing what? Different vegetables which have different nutrients. Right now the system is going on. It's at work. All the connections are already manifesting the universe and governing the universe. Doesn't really need your help as such. The enormity of the design and the enormity of intelligence is something, the minute you begin to see it, you lose your sense of ownership and you lose your sense of wanting to control things. Natural. Ownership as an individual. There is a very nice thing. There has to be, our teacher used to say, from change, there has to be a change in your understanding as an individual when you're growing to understand that reality, that you're not the owner, you're the trustee. What is the change, what is the difference between ownership and trusteeship? So, when I joined the UN in New York, it was very nice because in New York, the headquarters, they show you all the impressive rooms. So one is the Security Council, the other one is General Assembly, the other one is Trusteeship Council. So you feel, wow, it's amazing, And in one of the things I said, Trusteeship Council, and I said, what is this Trusteeship Council? I didn't know what it was because I didn't see anybody working for Trusteeship Council. So they told me that after the Second World War, the Trusteeship Council was created because the end of Second World War was a change of era. The whole colonization was what? Gone. Eliminated. Colonization of one country by the other, it was gone. So the colonial powers who were ruling those countries for years, those countries did not have the capacity to rule themselves. Because from one day to the other, they didn't have the power to how to organize themselves into the governments and to create policies and to run the country. So therefore, the previous the ruler continued to rule that country, but no longer as what? The ruler, but as a trustee. To hand over the power to the local person at a given point in time. So India has Independence Day and a Republic Day. Independence Day is the day that India became independent. It was no longer under British rule. But Republic Day is the day later when the entire administration was handed over in the hands of locals. In between that period, Britishers continued to rule India, but not as the ruler, as a trustee. Trusteeship Council. The whole facilitation of what? Self-rule. The roles remained the same. What changed? Their perception. We all in this world, as long as, see, you can't talk from the standpoint of you being awareness because that is something that you are trying to understand. So right now, you have to live as an individual to understand the world. And by that change in understanding, make changes in your behavior. Because unless you do that, that bigger reality is just, it's like me saying E is equal to mc square. You ask me two questions and I don't know what it is. As an individual, you have to change your relationship with this body and the mind. You're a trustee and you're not what? The owner. Because as an individual, you came with a relationship with one given body and one given mind. You don't even know all the past causes as an individual. What accounted for this body to be of this height, of this color of hair, this color of skin. As an individual, you have no answers. Why this talent? But you have come with connection to one given body and mind, and you are a trustee. And everybody is a trustee. If you are a trustee, will you be just indifferent to the body? No. Because this is entrusted to you for that length of time. You have a responsibility as a trustee. Do you have right to abuse this body?
Yeah.
You can do it out of ignorance. But if you
Many
really
people don't.
understand, that's the thing. This is the thing. That's why people have to change by knowing the realities. This is why what we are doing. We are trying to change our perception of reality, in light of which we change as human beings. We change in our attitudes, we change in our behaviors, we change in our actions. So therefore, this whole, if you understand that you are a trustee, this body is entrusted to you for a given length of time, you really will understand that actually I have no right to abuse this body. But if you have sense of ownership, this is my body and I can do what I want with it, then you can do what you want. It's just a change of perception. By making you see the reality that it is one whole vast order which has entrusted you with this given body at that given point in time, for this length of time.
So that means ownership is not existing at all.
So ownership doesn't exist. It's only trusteeship. Even the land that we feel that we own, and we've created papers, legal papers to own the land, you didn't do anything to create the land. So therefore, and that land you are endowed with, it becomes your responsibility to what? When you exit the world, the land is well taken care of. It's given to you under your care. So therefore, if you begin to see this reality of your whole life will change. If I don't own anything, if I have come with nothing and I'm going to go with nothing, and I'm only entrusted with what? Custody of my body, custody of my mind, custody of a house, the land on which I have built my house, custody of some wealth which I have accumulated. And my responsibility is to what? Not just keep grabbing more and more and more, but to make wise use of the resources that are given to me and become a contributor.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen in the United Nations, even though they have this trusteeship, the responsibility as a trustee.
Yeah. No, but that was now, because what has happened is that after it was meant for the rulers to hand over,
Sure.
you know, the
was the
to the
intention.
that was it.
But I saw-
And it did that, and once all the local countries took over the administration, then the trusteeship council became defunct.
Yeah.
You know, because now there are no longer colonies which need to be, you know,
Yeah.
freed.
So that's maybe
But-
the ignorance is transforming the trusteeship into an ownership, which is an ignorance itself. So that's
Yeah.
probably what's happening.
Exactly. Absolutely. And even when you are a ruler, you are only a trustee. It's true.
Sure. Would be good if people would see that.
Yeah. Because people have entrusted on you what? The administration of that country for a length of time, 4 years. You don't own anything. Next election you lose everything. While you're entrusted with the task of what? Administering the country, you have to give your best. If you're entrusted with the task of running a company, you have to do your best. So this is, in that doing your best is your growth. The minute you lose perspective and you begin to have sense of ownership, this is my entitlement, this is what I must have, this is what I must, then what? The whole, the psyche undergoes a change. You become a grabber instead of being a contributor. So therefore, this understanding of Ishvara and the design within which you operate, if you really understand that, you would live as a trustee. So therefore, now this given, this all knowledge and all power, when did it begin? As he says, it's beginningless. Awareness is beginningless. Beginningless means before time became manifest, awareness was there. Before space became manifest, awareness was there. So therefore, with reference to time, it is what? The truth of time and not subject to time. This is why it is beginningless. With reference to space, awareness was there, as Anna is saying, before space came into being. So with reference to space, it's not limited, it's not an entity in space, it is what? Truth of space. Space-wise, limitless. This awareness's capacity to manifest is also what? Anadi. It has no beginning. Because of its presence comes manifestation of what? Time, space and object universe. The beginning is there for the universe, not for Ishvara or awareness. Or Maya. Okay. Now, this beginning of the universe, we think that the universe began 13 billion years ago and now we are continuing. So this is what we call the linear kind of an understanding of the universe. It started at this time and then it is going on. What is the Vedic vision of what you are saying? And that is this capacity which is able to, of awareness, to manifest the universe also can what? Unmanifest the universe. And again manifest, and again unmanifest, and again manifest and unmanifest. This is what we call cyclical nature of creation. Cycles of manifestation and unmanifestation. Manifestation and unmanifestation. Yeah.
So is it wrong that one can say that there's a special moment or point that Maya turned into Ishvara?
Wonderful. Maya refers to the potential and the capacity. With reference to the manifest universe, it gets a different name, which is what? Ishvara. All knowledge and all power, which is what? There in the universe, which is the cause of the universe, which arranges the universe the way it is arranged.
And so there's not a special point, we wouldn't say this moment it's...
Yeah, so you can say that in the sense that when there is manifestation, it gets a different name. I'll just give you a simpler example, right? You are there, you have a potential, let's say, to become mother. The minute the child is born, before the child is born, it is a potential. The minute the child is born, you get the name mother. Because mother is a relational name. It is with reference to what? The child. So that point you become mother. Before that, the person was already there.
But there is a point.
And the potential was also there. But that's the point. But actually, as you can see, the whole thing is nothing but one awareness. But it keeps getting what? Different names from the standpoint of different phenomena that are taking place. The whole thing is Advaita. Advaita means there is not one thing called awareness, second thing called Maya, third thing called Ishvara, fourth thing called Jiva, fifth thing called Jagat. The whole thing is what? One awareness. But when you see it from different standpoints, it is given different names. So that you understand what the nature of the universe is and how everything is connected to the awareness ultimately.
Could you just go back to Matt's point, where he said that objects are temporary, whereas Maya is eternal?
Yes.
But is it also the case that, like you said, Maya becomes manifest and unmanifest? Is it also the case that objects become manifest and unmanifest like Maya? They're not actually destroyed in a sense. Do you know what I mean? Like,
the forms change, but the jivas continue. You're right. Even jiva is an anadi. That's true. See, jiva, the entity, every individual is also anadi. But the form that this jiva is right now entrusted with changes.
yeah.
But the account, right, it will bring another form. Then it will bring another form. So jiva is also anadi. That's true. The individuality is also without any beginning. Along with the manifestation comes all the different entities. And that is going on through cycles of creation.
What about insentient objects?
Insentient objects also, what happens is, if you and I need to go through punya and papa, our pleasures and pains, we need objects, to engage in objects.
But do they just go from, let's take the box, it doesn't actually, also it just goes back to being wood, to being a tree, to being a seed again, then to being a tree. Objects, are they anadi as well, in that sense?
Yeah,
Manifest and unmanifest.
the manifestation of forms keeps changing, and what that form is going to be will be a function of certain laws of the universe, right? So that means the river, so there is a whole mechanism, right? So that means in that mechanism, you human beings need to have, let's say, potable water. So then there is ocean, then ocean is connected to the sun, the ocean water gets evaporated, forms a cloud, and then you also need those clouds to give rains and that rain to fall inland and create water bodies. So the whole arrangement is where the insentient forms also have their place in the whole design of things. And we as human beings, imagine if I cut the forest mindlessly, then what am I doing to the whole system? I'm disturbing the whole system. I'm using my free will. Or if we build mindlessly all the dams and we restrict the flows, we create dry lands. Here we restrict the flows and we think that we are using the water, but if we restrict the flow, we are creating dry land somewhere else. So that means every intervention that we have, we are participating in that design, and the design will change according to what the nature of our participation. This is why it is so important for us who are living and thinking beings to have that trusteeship so that you don't unnecessarily damage the whole system. Because people don't even see themselves as living as one system which is designed so beautifully and that participation can disturb the system. They just think that I'm who I am and I just need to grab as much as I can in this time that I have on this earth to be happy.
I have a question. When I understand it right, you can say that all kind of matter is never destroyed, it only takes different forms.
Yes.
Yeah? So when you have the pralaya or the end of a cycle,
yes.
What happens with matter? Is it, how I can understand it? Because I mean, finally it's awareness. Yeah?
Yes.
And but still I don't get it. What happens there?
So even right now, when there is a manifestation of matter, when you really begin to look at the truth of the matter, it's just nothing but a concept, right? So therefore, at the time of the pralaya, that manifestation in form of matter is not there, but the concept is still there.
Okay, like the causal.
Yeah, the concept is still there.
Causal concept, or like awareness in its cause.
Yes, its cause is
potential for being matter.
Exactly, it's still there.
It's just knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
yes, it's still there. Now it's time that we take a break. So we'll hear a little bit more about these cycles of manifestation and non-manifestation, which is part of this anadi cycle, as Martha said. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.